Vince with calling a roll. The minutes were sent to you in your packet beforehand. If anybody have any corrections, additions, any other information about the minutes? If not, I would ask that we have a motion to approve the minutes.
So, second.
Okay. We approve the minutes. Before we get started, I understand we may have a customer present. We have a pretty full agenda, and I thought maybe to speed things up, if the gentleman here would like to address the board, I think it'd be better if we go ahead and do that beforehand. Is somebody here that would like to address the board?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Come on up. We allow 5 minutes if you can, sir.
Probably won't take that long.
Please tell us your name and stuff. And
All right, I'm David Wood. I live at 1709 Fairmont Boulevard, 37917. On May 2nd, I work at the post office. I work night shift. When I got off at 6, I called my wife to make sure she was up to get the kids ready, and she had told me that there was a very foul smell in the house all night. She could smell it. So when I got home, opened the basement door, there were several inches of sewage backed up in my basement. I called Mr. Henry Carson, my plumber, and he came out and called KUB, got them out there, and I think there's video to show that in the main sewer line there was a blockage. And so the KUB claims person came and got the disaster team out. Well, they didn't come until about 2 that afternoon. But so all the neighborhood sewage had backed up into my basement. I have a drain there that's so the disaster team came Monday, and they talked about what they would be doing. They did some cleanup, and then they said they would, come different days to. It's a process. So they were there till Wednesday. Each day they left, because my wife lives upstairs, she could smell it when the system came on. Well, I asked when they left each cleaning person, I need the ductwork cleaned, please, check into that. And they took note of it, said they would get with the proper people. Well, Thursday the claims person called Mr. Blankenship and said that, asked why would I want that cleaned. He didn't feel like it needed to be, but I insisted. So when they finally came Friday with just the authorization just to clean the unit itself down that the water had been on. And so Mr. Blankenship was out of town, so someone else had to handle it. The ductwork people called and said, asked the KUB person there to get authorization to do it. So that he was authorized only to use some kind of spray to go through the ductwork. And when they came, he told me, he brought me downstairs to show me that the disaster team, the tray around the unit still had sewage water, around it. So he went ahead and cleaned it, even though he said it's not hazardous, doesn't have license to do it. He sucked it up and put his chemicals down and cleaned it. And just the point of other people's sewage being in our basement, and my wife and kids sleeping through it, and I gave them an itemized list of what the damages I thought and being out of work, and they, it's definitely not what I think is fair. I just come to you to try to see what you maybe could do about it. I'm not asking for a whole lot. I just think for what's fair. Their big thing is, for me being off work, they don't want to pay for that. But I had to be there for when they came to clean, and I just don't think I'm being treated fairly. Like I say, it's a very bad stench. We've cleaned clothes, we've thrown away food, where bins were near it. And I didn't ask for any of that. I didn't even ask for stuff like that. But anything that the sewage touched, other people's sewage, I don't want, and I just, like I say, don't think I'm being treated fairly. I appreciate your time.
Mr. Wood, we do have a claims process. So were you
Yes.
presented? Okay.
Yes.
Do you understand? You just don't think the claim was the
Right.
offer's fair.
Exactly. like I say, they do not want to give me anything for being out of work.
Is there somebody here that?
Yeah, might I suggest, Kendall Stiles is the manager of claims, he's present today. Kendall, would you get together with Mr. Woods and talk about it, and we'll make sure and get back to you with their conversation.
And thank you very much for coming here today, we appreciate that.
Thank you.
And,
Sorry that.
Yeah, we're sorry it happened. I mean, these, they are rare occurrences, and as you probably know, we're spending an awful lot of money upgrading the system. And you said Fairmont Boulevard, isn't there a lot of construction activity in that
Yes,
area
sir.
right now? I think that's
Yes,
where the
sir.
city's doing some work, okay?
Yes, sir.
Well,
Yes, sir.
I echo what other commissioners said, sorry that happened, but if you'll get with him and then if not before our next board meeting, at our next board meeting, could you kind of report back to us on where things stand and we can see if you've been taken care of by then?
Thank you. Thank you.
all right, thank you again for
Thanks for
coming,
coming.
sir. Okay, we're gonna, I don't think there's any other customers, so we're gonna go ahead with, board action. First, item is resolution number 1224, providing for an increase in electric rates effective beginning with the revenue month of July 2010.
Commissioners, I'll remind you that this has come before you several times. There's probably no issue that comes before this board for your consideration that's any more important than a rate increase. And we take that very seriously. As you will recall, this has been discussed over the last several years as a needed requirement. We've been able to postpone that increase for several years. And as recently as February, we came back to you and shared with you that we would be asking for this increase at this time. We also had a full presentation at the May meeting, at the April meeting, that included a thorough discussion of this increase, as well as that we were reducing the amount of the need for the increase. And then finally, I think about 10 days ago, you received a white paper that gave you a great deal of detail, again, about the background of our cost-cutting efforts as well as the need for the increase. I say all that to put it in the context that Mark Walker is here to make a presentation on this rate increase, but we will not be going through all the detail that you have seen in the past months and years. But if there's any questions you have that aren't addressed in Mark's increase presentation, we certainly encourage